So this is a young man who's a senior at the high school. So this kid sits down and how's school? Not great.
Getting those responses.
Yeah. Never been good. Never, and then I asked him, what does he like? He lit up, and Greg had never heard this before. And he said, I love trains. I love trains, right? And he goes, I love the way they smell. I love the way they sound. I love the way they look. And my head now is on fire. I'm sitting there with him and I'm like, I know exactly where we're going to go with this now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if we can get to the question of what do you love?
Yeah.
Or if they don't love something, that's fine. Let's get them into, how do we expose them into things and light them up and get them lit?
It's that spark, right?
Yeah.
Look at you and your fancy, your analog.
Yeah.
Notes going. Yeah. All right. I had to do my pause. Didn't do my yoga this morning, man. It's been
You did or did not?
Did not. I've had too many late nights at the high school. I just can't get up with especially when it's like, 10 degrees out. It's like, geez.
Yoga.
Do I want to do yoga at 5:30 or do I want to sleep another 20 minutes?
All right. Revens and Will.
Yeah.
Pardon me? Are we ready to roll?
Ready to roll. We're ready. We're going. Have we been rolling? We've been talking.
Oh, wait. We're rolling?
Oh.
Wait. So, Pete.
Yeah.
How do you start a podcast?
How do you start it? I think, you start a podcast. Well, there's a lot of ways, right? You could start with like a dad joke, or you could just say, you have a tagline, say, welcome to Fired Up. Or
Welcome to Fired Up. Okay.
You could tell a story.
Well, let's start with 3 days ago. What happened?
And 3 days ago, you were texting me and calling me and sending me pictures of this space. And I was like, what the heck is this? And I think, went to voicemail and, because I'm really bad, I eventually got around to calling you. And you were like, I knew there was going to be a podcast. And then you were like, hey, man, we're going to host this. What do you think? And I was like, I think let's do it. Let's go for that. Right? You
were that okay?
Yeah.
Why?
Part of it is I believe in this stuff. And the other thing is I got a lot to learn. I got a lot to learn, right? I mean, my background, academic background, college for everyone. I was involved deeply in that for a lot of my career, had some great successes. I like to call it the Make Amends Tour. I got to learn a lot and create sustainable pipelines for kids to have, careers right out of high school, potentially. I like the 2 sheets of paper thing, 2 pieces of paper. You got your high school diploma and then you have your certification, your credential, whatever that is. Right.
But you could have done this at the high school by yourself. So what's maybe, here we are a block away. We're in it's called the Sauce Studio. We're naming it after Hecky.
Oh, it's perfect. Right?
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to be honoring Hecky during our, just being here and working on this. Hecky, I think, struggled as a kid, with school and obviously went off to do quite well for himself.
Did amazing things.
And I'm not saying we're talking about just kids that are struggling. We're going to be talking about all kids. And
yeah, the interesting thing with Hecky is he used to come to the high school and he used to sponsor an event for our students with IEPs. It was an honor roll luncheon. And he would bring some Heckies and he would celebrate the kids and he would tell stories. And his stories really had to do with a particular teacher who believed in him. He was the first guy to tell you he struggled in high school. And he was also the first guy to say that this one teacher, Janet Webb, was the person who inspired him and got him through and opened up a whole world of opportunity. And, look at it now. I mean, it's the sauce.
Well, I loved Hecky. Hecky was a good friend of my family's and me, and my son's middle name, we named him after Hecky. We did a naming rights for my son. My son's got free ribs and Green River for the rest of his life.
I love it.
Yeah, so sort of a little fun little fact. But Hecky got in a little bit of trouble. He was afraid. He was not afraid to talk and ask questions. And so that's kind of what I'm hoping this conversation that we're going to have over the next few years or however long we do this is engaging people, challenging ideas, really listening and asking questions. Of my hope for this, what kind of gets me excited is bringing in industry, bringing in companies, bringing in people from, let's call it supply and demand. On the demand side, you know, we were talking about this before, that there's, in the manufacturing sector, there's a need for 930 starting positions for a career in manufacturing with a pretty good salary, right?
How crazy. And you said that was annual. That was the crazy part for me. 930 sounds like a good number. You're like, yeah, 930, and it's like 930, but that's 930 annually, basically, right?
Yeah, 930 people that in a 10-mile radius to Evanston. So let's start bringing those folks in and start talking to them and understanding, you know, if there's a way that we can get, you know, it's hard when you go by, like, let's say Ward Manufacturing on Main Street. Maybe you grew up here, but who's ever going to get inside to go see Ward Manufacturing, right?
Right.
Who gets in there? So if we can bring people and understand what goes on there, and actually that they need people, they're looking for that. And if we could start igniting that kind of thing for a young person, maybe they come out of high school sort of what we call trade ready. That's sort of the hope here, is that we could start to connect the supply and demand together. So
I love that. And I also, in visiting these places over the last year or two, what I've noticed is we were just over at the stadium build the other day, and I was taken by the sense of like camaraderie and team and organization and mission, right? In the trades. Like, they're doing tangible stuff. What I've learned is that the financial reward is there, the pension is there, all these great things, the profit sharing, whatever it is, right? When you go to these places. What fascinates me, though, is that sense of like belonging. That sense that you're in on something, you're doing something that's valuable. I love that.
Well, let's go back to that, though, because that started with the Ryan family when they came and they started negotiating to get the stadium, the Northwestern and the Ryan family. And one of the things that they really pushed for was trying to get a local workforce to come and build the stadium. And I think one of the reasons why we started the Trade Collective was because there really wasn't a workforce, a skilled workforce, able to work on that. So a lot of the people that are building, I mean, I don't know if you were in that conversation with the guy from the bricklayers.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Right? What
They're putting people up.
From where? They're coming in from Florida or something.
Florida, some crazy place. They don't have bricklayers here. They got to import bricklayers from Florida and then put them up in a hotel.
Yeah.
For months.
Right.
That's crazy.
To build a stadium in our town.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that.
So are you saying we don't have bricklayers here? Is that what you're saying?
Apparently we don't. I mean, you know, when we started this, I think there's 2 pipe fitters in the city of Evanston, maybe 3, one's retired. I mean, the number of people in the skilled trades in Evanston is pretty low. Yeah. So we need to increase that. So when a 605 Davis or when a project comes to town, we're going to have local talent and local skilled people to be able to do that. So
I love that, because that makes it more than an empty promise.
Right.
It's an empty promise. If you know there's nobody there and you say, oh yeah, we'll hire folks, and then there's nobody there, it's like, but if you say we'll hire people and then we have them,
yeah,
it's a game changer.
Right. Right. So we got 4 kids into the Carpenters Union working over on Ryan Field. That's big for us. We're very excited about it. I mean, the 4 kids, it's big for those 4 kids. It's big for their families.
Well, hold up. It's big for Evanston too, man, because like, when was the last time that happened? Think about it.
Yeah.
Never. I don't think that's ever happened.
Yeah.
There's always been barriers, right? They can't, it's too far. It's too many barriers. Get in line, all that red tape, bureaucracy, amazing.
Yeah. Amazing
that we got that across, that the collective helped with that and got that connection going. And I know the mayor was involved and all sorts of stuff happened, but what an opportunity, though.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, never been done.
The Carpenters Union has been coming to the high school for a while, trying to recruit. And, it's if a kid isn't 18, isn't ready to go, there's not a fit. And so that's kind of what we're hoping to start doing, is resetting. So if a kid, when they're a sophomore, say, I want to be a plumber, we're going to start to be able to address that and work towards that. We're working with you on, right, at the high school. It's a totally new muscle and a new idea that we've got to kind of reset.
And it's relational, right? I mean, if a kid, think about it, if you're a sophomore in high school and you're starting down that pathway and you're meeting folks in the plumbers union and you're connecting through the collective to these things, you're going to have a lot walking out that door when you graduate. you're going to have a lot. You're going to have a lot of like experience. You're going to have a lot of connections. You're going to have relationships. And that's a game changer if you think about it.
Yeah. Pete, can we get to who the heck are you? Because I played basketball with you. I think probably when you first started coming here, you and I started playing basketball.
Yeah, I think so.
So you're the superintendent and the head of curriculum. What's their official title?
Official title is the assistant superintendent for curriculum and instruction at Evanston Township High School.
Okay.
16 years there.
Okay. What does that mean?
That means I get to do a lot of cool things, man. I get to curate, work with teachers and administrators on what courses we offer, when we offer them. I create academic pathways. I get to do things like with career work now, which is exciting. We've always had career and tech ed, but we've really seen a renewed commitment on behalf of the school, on behalf of the community in that. So I get to develop those programs. I get to work with external partners. It's a lot of fun. It's very creative.
Where are you from? Where's the where you're an East Coast guy, right? Where are you
from, man? There's
your story.
If I were back home, I said, man, I'm from up around Dutchess County. Where are you from? That's sort of the provincial attitude of where I grew up. I grew up about 90 minutes outside New York City. And by that, I mean outside the Bronx, which might as well be a 3-hour train ride. On the New York-Connecticut border, you think about all those James Taylor songs. That's kind of like the pastoral sort of vision of where I grew up. Economically, lower middle class community, lots of poverty. We had a major state facility that shut down when I was a kid, put a lot of people out of jobs. My grandfather was the head of buildings and grounds at that state facility. It was like a university.
What do you mean state facility? Like
it was
people with disabilities?
People with disabilities.
Yeah.
Back in the 50s, 60s, 70s when people were warehoused in these places.
Yeah.
My grandfather was in charge of buildings and grounds, massive institution. But that was the major employer in town. And when that left, it was, okay, you can either drive 45 minutes and work at IBM like my dad did, or you could work for the highway or at a farm. And really, that was kind of it. So it was rough. It was a rough little patch of grass, as we like to say.
Okay. So you high school there, then you went off to college.
Yeah.
You did okay in high school.
Yeah, I did.
You're a doctor now, so something clicked for you.
Something worked along the way. I don't know. I had good teachers. I had friends who were, really, some of my friends were really academic. I mean, I've had from a small town that had a lot of poverty. One of my buddies retired out of Google at 40. I got other folks who are, 30 under 30 when we were under 30, 20 years ago. One of my buddies was a 30 under 30 in New York City. So, I mean, small sample, but a small population. Population of my hometown smaller than the freshman class at ETHS.
Who is this friend, and why didn't he just take care of all of his buddies?
Paul's
why didn't he just retire all of you guys, huh?
Could have, man.
Paul, hey.
Oh, come on, buddy. I love Paul. Paul was always super smart, man. The joke about Paul was he could make you feel stupid talking about your own dog. But just a beautiful mind. He was the first guy into like music, the first guy. He always had the cool stuff. Always like a cool seeker, best books, coolest books, best music, you name it. Yeah.
Well, Paul's not here, so screw Paul right now.
Hell with Paul.
Paul, sorry, buddy, but this is about Pete now. So you went off to college.
Yeah, I did.
Because was your out.
That's what you do. That's how you get out of town. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was the first, my mom dropped out of high school. My dad went to Fordham down in the Bronx for a while and didn't graduate. And rumor is he graduated somewhere along the line, but it's a little suspect. So I might be a first generation or at least a 0.5, kind of a big deal, going off. My sister never graduated from college. So I'm like the only person in the family pretty much till my nephews and nieces did and my daughter. Yeah, man. I mean, went to Tufts, majored in a real practical field called English.
What does that get you?
I get you, you win a poetry contest as an undergrad. You play a lot of basketball.
Yeah.
You end up working at a bookstore. Came out here with my girlfriend years ago, and we eventually got married, settled in Evanston. She's from Evanston, so she gets the community. I love it here. It's a great place to raise kids, invested in the community. And, it's interesting, right? Coming from that community that didn't have the educational opportunities necessarily, going and doing that, and then being put into education at a time when it was college for all. So I never questioned it, man. I was like, worked for me.
Okay.
Look at me. I got a PhD from UIC, baby. It worked for me. And then what I did was I walked around with these Bachelor of Arts blinders, where my assumption was like, all these jobs required a BA. Of course. And then I went on this tour with you and Neil Gambo years ago, where we talked to people, getting out of the high school, talk to people. Imagine that. And, we're sitting around, you're over at the auto barn talking to some sales guys, VP of sales. No, didn't go to college, built this myself. Okay, that's interesting. File that away. Talking to people at the hotel, in management. Oh, wait, you didn't? No. Okay, that was on the job. Okay. And you start figuring out that, like, you carry a lot, at least I do. I carried a lot of assumptions with me around what people's background was and what you needed to do to be successful. And that was the first hurdle I had to get over in my own head, to be able to be like, okay, there's something going on here, something cool.
I want to celebrate what we're good at the school. I think it's really important. I think that we have, I grew up here, just a terrible high school student. So I'm not the perfect person to be in an education conversation, but maybe it's okay. But you did really well for my wife and my couple of my kids.
There we go.
But what have you done well with? What is yours? Man. What do you call success at the high school?
One of the things that we did when I got there 16 years ago was we worked on creating access and opportunity for all students. Evanston's a very diverse place, and traditionally our AP classes, our academic offerings weren't open to everybody. That was highly racialized, right? And economics and racially, not too diverse when you got into those upper level, what we would call upper level academic classes. So we worked on detracking. We worked on creating opportunity for kids based on what they could do in classes. So we created like this Pathway to Honors program. We opened up advanced placement. We won some big awards. National School Board Association honored us for our team access and success and advanced placement, which is where kids support kids in AP. We did all that work, worked with Dr. Campbell, who's now our superintendent on that. When we were young, we were the young guys going after it because we wanted to open up opportunity and access for kids who had traditionally been kind of marginalized on that, not included, right? It's terrible on the outside looking in.
Okay.
So we did that, and we were wildly successful. I mean, beyond.
Give me numbers or something. Like, what does that mean?
Oh my God.
Give us context to
You would go from like 13 students of color getting honors in biology as freshmen, and we put that close to 100 a year, which is pretty incredible. We also did some cool stuff so along the line, we're never really looking at that we're looking at like AP is this thing that College Board has where you can earn college credit in high school. They take these tests. Again, last year, we had over 1,000 students earn college credit through that program, and it used to be the kind of program which was invitation only. Okay. Little like card, you would get a little like invitation in the mail, and we got rid of that. We opened it up. And that changed a lot of lives because you say, you can do that. You can smash that glass and it's okay to do that. So that's the academic part, right? And GPAs rose, college going, more access to kids, more diverse kids going to selective enrollment schools, whatever you want to call it, right? Did a great job at that. That's sort of the academic legacy, I think, is open. And it's never done. That work's never done because I take the academics very serious. And one of the things that we'll talk about later, I'm sure, is one of the things you learn when you start getting involved with the trades is that the academics are really important too. It's not a do this instead of that. So it keeps that academic level of rigor there. You got to do math. You got to be able to read at a certain level. It's a requirement, right, to get into these things.
All right. So what else do I have to ask you?
You got a lot to ask.
I know.
I feel like you're just asking me questions.
All right. So what do you want to ask?
I don't know. I got questions here. What do we got here?
Well,
who are you? What the heck, man? I mean, we met on a basketball court, you know, and you were always the guy who always was kind of like fearless. So I imagine you grew up in Evanston. I don't have to ask that.
Yeah.
How did you become you, man? Like, how did you become, I know a little bit about your background, your story, how you got involved in entrepreneurship, how you got involved in making a difference. Because when you look at your resume, you've made a difference throughout your entire life. You've been involved in stuff that's been profound. So if you give just like 30 seconds, I know this is hard, Pat, 30 seconds on that. You hate to talk about yourself.
Liz.
I want 30 seconds and only 30 seconds. I got a funny story about how the collective got started, but I want to hear the story first, like the 30-second, like thumbnail. I am Patrick Hughes.
Well, that's
timer's running.
That's a lot. That's a lot. All right. I would say terrible high school student, drank too much, smoked too much, crashed a couple cars.
Okay.
Met somebody with a disability that changed my world.
Yeah.
Gave me a sense for what I could do, and started seeing that people who are isolated, the only way to change that is to invite them into a connected and normal environment. And that it just became something I found to be good at, and that, or something, at least I don't know if I was good at it, but I was comfortable at going into things that weren't necessarily mine. And then, started a company, started inventing things. And, when you see someone get gas for the first time because of a product you invented, or a drive-through, or vote for the first time, that's just, knock me over. It's the best.
How does that feel?
Yeah, it's and it keeps going.
Right.
Yesterday I was on I reached out to the coordinators of Natural Ties at the University of Kansas. 37 years ago, I started this organization at the University of Kansas.
I know.
And these kids, there's hundreds of kids involved at the University of Kansas right now. And I'm crying yesterday. I'm on the video call with these two college kids, and I'm bawling because this is still going on. And they're like, they didn't even know I existed. And I just reached out to them just to say hi. And they're like, this is a game changer for us personally,
Right. No, that's
and
so it's that personal impact that your work has on people.
Well,
no, it is.
Yeah.
That's what I see.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's so simple. It's so simple.
Of course it
in
is.
my opinion.
Yes.
It's so simple.
Yes.
That's
simple.
It really is simple.
Okay.
It really is.
Right.
I think that's the key, is that it's really simple. Yesterday I was in a meeting with Oakton, and I bring out the obvious. I don't know. And I think it's annoying to other people when they're in a meeting. Yes. And all of a sudden I'm like, but why? Or whatever. And so,
yeah, I actually find that to be an endearing trait of yours. I think that's why we get along.
Okay.
Like, I love that about you.
Well,
maybe
that's why we're sitting down.
Hope we do that in this podcast. Like, I hope we do that.
Well, I think
that banter, that challenge.
I think
because without you challenging me, I'll tell you, I wouldn't be sitting here, and I wouldn't be working as hard as I am on this without the pushes consistently.
Well,
and it brings me to this invite and connect piece, which you said, I just invite them in and connect them. I think that speaks to a lot of the work you've done throughout your career, and you're doing, kind of summarizes what you're doing here with ETHS, with the employers, with the unions, here at the collective to get kids trade ready. Do you see that connection? Or am I making shit? I might be making that up.
No. I think that's, I think technology has made us all think that it's already happening.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, because we have a phone that has a LinkedIn app or a Indeed or whatever,
sure.
Employers are really struggling to sort out what's real and what's not. And, when those 4 young people got to be chosen on Ryan Field, it happened because of a physical conversation. And they were brought in. I don't know. I may not. I don't know if that explains it or not. But I think the physical connection is, and that's what's beautiful about this space here. We can host events. We can host people.
I mean, I walked in today, and you bring me to the back, which you're like, come here. And then this thing goes on forever, by the way. And in the back, you got a guy like running a car club with some students.
Yeah.
And they're, what kind of car was that?
It's a race car.
It's a race car.
Right. John Santiago has a car club for kids at the high school. They get to go racing on the weekends, but he's really more talking about life. Yeah. Yes, they're learning about a race car and how to fix and tune up a car, but John's really teaching them about life.
Of course he is.
Beautiful.
But what I love about it is that's happening here, connecting and inviting, man.
Yeah.
It's like connecting and inviting and having a race car, like literally like just in the other room is insane. Yeah. It's insane. You got a fire going outside.
Well, we can do it a little different here, right? We may not have the same rules that the high school can have. So,
I mean, you've also done like the mashup. That's an invite and connect, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I got an idea.
Well, go ahead.
What you talk about invite and connect, but what's the role of a good partner, man? What's a good partner?
It's a great question. I think a good partner, and I was thinking about this morning, I think listening is probably the best form of communication that any partner could bring, and being honest and asking questions. I took a class one time actually at Harvard, and one of the things that I loved about my experience there was that I saw a robot, like kind of what you and I do, which is I ask you questions.
Yeah.
I ask you and you're not offended. You're not like, you don't run away the next time you see me. You're like, stay with me. And and that's what I learned at this program at Harvard was the allowance of a debate. And it's not a debate to debate. It was a debate to understand and to get to something. And that it wasn't conflict just to have conflict. It was
I think that's what I like is this idea that it's debate, but it's not debate to win. It's debate to get better. Right?
Yeah.
Man.
I don't know where we're going right now.
I think we're going to the next question because they're here. What excites you about bringing people in to listen and ask questions?
Yeah.
So we're going to be asking questions, right? I mean, we're on people are going to get insights into how we listen and the kind of questions we ask. We're going to bring employers in, some trades. I mean, imagine we're bringing the whole thing, right?
The whole thing.
So kids. Yeah. I mean, so we're going to be interviewing people.
Yeah.
That's exciting. We're going to listen. We're going to learn.
What do you mean it's exciting?
I love to learn from people, not just when they give me the laundry list, but from when they tell me the stories. So, my thing is like, what do you love about your job? What do you love about your company? That's going to tell me a lot.
So Greg Taylor the other day brought a kid in. I don't know if I'd say he was worried about him, but he loves him. You can just tell. So this is a young man who's a senior at the high school. Greg is responsible. Let me just say that. He's part of his program at Kumba. And it was one of these things where people are concerned so much that they're afraid to even ask him questions because we're such a college-oriented thing. So this kid sits down and how's school? Not great.
Getting those responses.
Never been good. Never, and I won trophies in bad school. So
yeah, you understand the language. You speak that language, Pat.
Yes. Can we not talk about this, please? And then I asked him, what does he like? And now I think a lot of kids these days, I don't think they really know what they like.
Yeah. I was going to say that. That's a loaded question.
It's a loaded question, but so let's ask it in the front and maybe they have an answer. Maybe they do love something. And he lit up, and Greg had never heard this before, and he said, I love trains. I love trains, right? And then he goes, I love the way they smell. I love the way they sound. I love the way they look. And my head now is on fire. I'm sitting there with him, and I'm like, I know exactly where we're going to go with this.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if we can get to the question of what do you love? Yeah. Or if they don't love something, that's fine. Let's get them into how do we expose them into things and light them up and get them lit?
It's that spark, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't think you get, if you're not asking questions, you're not going to get there.
Yeah.
All right. So what kind of people do you want to bring through here? You know, we spoke in platitudes like, oh, I want to bring like the trades and I want to bring like some employers, but who are we talking about? Like, you got any ideas? Like who's on your wish list?
You know,
who are we bringing?
We're going to have 4 seats, so we can bring 2 more.
2 more?
Right. So I know I'd love to get like Marcus in here. I'd love to get Joy in here. I know I'd love to get Senator Duckworth in here. She's had a nice impact on the high school.
Yeah. I mean, she's helped. Whew. She pushed us.
She's pushed and
in a great way. And we've made progress.
Yeah.
Because of her.
Yeah. I'd love to get more politicians. I'd like to get our mayor in here. I'd like to get, you know, the reason that the Carpenters Union came to the Trade Collective is because Mayor Biss and the Carpenters Union had a conversation. I don't know if it was a negotiation or more of a conversation, but as a result, 4 kids just got into the Carpenters.
How about that?
Okay. Because whatever horse trading happens between a Carpenters Union and a mayor, and we say thank you at the end of that.
Yeah, we say thank you. That's a game changer for 4 kids.
Yeah.
4 young adults. I mean, you know, as a parent of a 5-year-old, like everybody under 30 is a kid, but yeah, making a difference in a young person's life. I mean, that's incredible.
Who do you want to have here? What do you think about when you think about this?
You know, I think I want people who are going to challenge me. So the other day when we were talking to the bricklayer, the guy from the Bricklayers Union,
Rich Gallagher.
Rich Gallagher.
Yeah.
Okay. What a bricklayer's name.
Right.
That's like,
he was great.
He was great. He brought it right back to Upton Sinclair's The Jungle. My grandfather on the back porch created the Bricklayers Union along with the meatpacking. Okay. So guys like that, like, and then he's telling me these stories, right? Like we talked about earlier, like, man, we don't have bricklayers in Evanston. I mean, from the way I took it, we don't really have them in Chicago or Illinois if we're bringing them from Florida,
right,
and putting them up at the DoubleTree or
it was
wherever.
St. Louis or Florida, but it was not Skokie.
It was crazy is what it was.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now.
The expense of putting them in a hotel, right? Just that.
Insane. So I'm thinking
so they have to charge more.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, yeah. I'd charge more if I were running the.
Well, they have to.
Yeah, I would.
Right.
And it's like an extended stay, right?
Right.
So it's not like a one-off fly into whatever town, go to a conference. I mean,
so that adds more to the project.
For sure it does.
Right.
And that challenge is, because here's the other thing, man. I don't know. I know what I know and what I don't know. I mean, if you'd have said, hey, we got these bricklayers and they're working on the stadium, my assumption is, all right, maybe they're not coming from Evanston, but they're certainly coming from like, you know, maybe like Chicago or maybe one of those burbs out there, out west somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it blew my mind.
Yeah.
And I said, wow. So that's what I mean. Like and that's a real opportunity because you think to yourself, well, we're going to be putting bricks down for a while. I mean, that's not going away.
No, that's right.
Come on. That's about as AI proof as
fires still don't like bricks.
That's right.
Right.
And we're close to Chicago. Miss O'Leary.
Yeah. So I think in general we want to bring in different. I'd like to bring in people from manufacturing, plumbing, HVAC. We want to understand, carpentry, electric, automotive, and obviously other skilled trades. But I think our goal, if we could start to understand what the needs are in each one of these sectors and the amount of opportunity in I like looking at this in like a 10-mile radius area so that we're not worried about Indiana. We're not worried about Wisconsin. We're just focused on this area because I think transportation plays a major role in early success for people.
You're not kidding, right?
Yeah.
If you can't get to the job site or the training site, what are you going to do?
Right.
What are you going to do?
Right.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking local, get to politicians, industry leaders. Great if we can get to the CEOs of companies and the HR managers. The other day we had Brightview is the largest commercial landscaping company, I think, in the world. And their head of HR was here the other day. And
wow.
He flew in from Columbus to see us. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And, as a result of a simple conversation, Pete.
Yeah.
They're standing up a whole curriculum at Oakton now because a rapid I don't know what you call it, a rapid response sort of curriculum to address the shortcomings of the Chicago market for Brightview and the others in the commercial landscaping business.
I see their trucks all over.
Right. Wow. So they're going to help us lead the other smaller companies who don't have that kind of resource.
Yeah, I think that's a piece too we've talked about before. Is having those big players and knowing who those big players are that can sort of consolidate the rest of the smaller players. Which I think is interesting, right?
Yeah. So I think we want to talk to plumbers, electricians, and just find out about their life and what's it like, and maybe people are going to listen and say, gosh, I could do that. Right. Maybe a young person says, I had no idea, right? Because we don't really talk much about this in our community.
You know what's interesting about that? We had, here's why the trade.
Are you whispering?
Yeah. Okay, I'm talking right over the mic, man. I can do this.
We're podcasting. Yeah.
I can do the,
okay.
Are we ready?
Okay. Go ahead.
So the other day.
Okay. Don't be weird. Okay. Please. Seriously.
The other day, man, I was over at the high school. We were doing these STEAM design thinking and innovation showcases where the kids project out 3 realities for their after high school life. I want to be an actor. I want to be whatever. I want to, so they do this thing. And for the first time, and 2 of them wanted to be electricians. That was a real thing. And another kid was like, I love autos. So I'm talking to the autos kid and I'm like, have you taken autos at high school? No, man. But, I have a BMW station wagon I work on all the time for my family. And I'm like, wait, what? This is interesting, right? That's what you know about I talked about the collective. He's going to come over. The electrician kids, one of them already knew about the collective, been over here. The other one had no idea. It's like, this has opened up a way for me to connect kids directly, right? In the moment.
Love it.
Love it. A couple of years ago, I'd have been like electrician. Oh yeah. Oh, that's great.
I don't know where to send
but
you.
now I know where and I'm doing it.
That's great.
It's really, really
good.
It's really good stuff.
Good.
And I did that without the deep down. Yeah. I didn't go full.
Again, we're not allowed to be weird on this podcast. So I here we go. Let's do it. We're going to, we don't know who our next guest is, but
of course we don't,
because just 3 days ago I asked you to be my co-host.
Are you our booking agent?
Well, I think it's going to be a combination platter here, but
I can help.
Yeah, good.
I can help.
We'll figure it out. It's going to be nice. We're going to have some really cool conversations. I'm
pumped.
I know it's going to be great, even if it's just the 2 of us.
Two guys talking with this great cool backdrop.
Yeah, right. All this for us.
For us. I'm loving it. Let's get some folks in here. Let's start asking questions.
Good.
Hey, my questions are going to come from a very naive place, and because I'm learning, and you can ask your very sophisticated Patrick Hughes questions, and I can ask my tell me what you like about your job questions. And I think we're going to have good conversation. It's going to push my thinking that's my personal goal. Push my thinking, folks.
Mine's just to do it, just to hear industry leaders. I think oftentimes they don't get asked these questions in a format like this, and they have to think about it, so I think a lot of times people talk to themselves instead of another world. And so, anyway, it's going to be great. Thank you for saying yes.
Hey,
it's going to be a fun ride.
2 days notice, man.
Boom. Here you are.
Here I am. Yeah. I love it. I'm in. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. And, what an awesome opportunity that started on a basketball court.
I know.
Here we are.
Yeah. Thanks.
This is great.
Thank you.
All in.
Thanks for the friendship. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. This is great.
Let's get fired up.
Let's get fired up.